Hey guys, Captain Smash here with another episode from the blog. This episode is going to be all about HIIT training, kind of what it is, who it's for, where you can find it, and then how to do it optimally, and also the pros and cons of HIIT training. So now, high intensity interval training, as it's known, is basically a really hard bout of work in a short amount of time, followed by a brief rest period and a repeated. So basically, you're going to 90% of your rated and perceived exertion, so a really hard form of exercise for a very brief amount of time, really taxes the body, with a short amount of rest, repeated by another bout of hard physical work. So basically just think of, busting your butt for, a short amount of time, as hard as you can possibly go, taking a break, and then redoing that. So I like to call this kind of like cardio with weights, because the way I perceive HIIT training, it's done with kettlebells and dumbbells, ropes, prowlers, rowers, and assault bikes, that type of thing. Something that you can sustain a maximal intensity effort for a very brief amount of time, followed by a brief rest. So now, who this is for is pretty much, I'm gonna say, advanced to intermediate trainees. So if you're just starting an exercise program, HIIT training is probably not that great for you, because number one, it's gonna gas you really, really quickly, and you're probably going to vomit, which is not what you wanna do. You wanna feel good when you're exercising. So now, not to say that individuals that are unfit cannot try HIIT training, but they just need to be careful. They need to build their way into doing an advanced form of training, and they're probably going to be better off with doing some steady state cardio and some mild resistance training to build up their muscle mass and strength before they get into overall work capacity work, which is ultimately what HIIT training does. It's going to up your work capacity a lot and tax it and make it better and stronger, right? So we have long steady state cardio, which is going to improve your cardiovascular system, your lungs, and your heart rate, and your periphery circulation. So it's going to improve all those things. And then you have weight training, which is predominantly going to improve your neuromuscular function and your muscle mass. And then you have HIIT training, which is going to work on your work capacity. How much work can you do per unit of time? That's the gig with HIIT training. So the more fit you are, the more work capacity you're going to have. You're going to love HIIT training. The more out of shape you are, HIIT training is going to hit you like a ton of bricks, and it's going to make you feel like, boy, that was rough, and it's not going to be a good scenario. So build your way up. Try a little bit of HIIT training in the beginning and see how you like it. But I mean, like, if you're very unfit, start with steady state cardio, build yourself up, do a little bit of weights, increase your muscle mass a little bit, and then flow into that more advanced form of exercise. So now, where can you find HIIT training? It's really popular nowadays. You can find it at most gyms. We have a Saturday morning class that we do predominantly HIIT training. It's just strength and conditioning with kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells, body weight, all tailored together so that you can flow right through the exercises almost back to back. But how to do this correctly is you have to incorporate a little bit of rest in there. That way you can repeat the maximal efforts for each exercise. That's how you separate HIIT training from regular old cardiovascular training, where you're just like running on a treadmill, for an extended amount of time. You can incorporate sprinting as a form of HIIT training, but it has to be intense enough to make you have to stop. So generally, I'll set people up on a timer, hey, go 30 minutes as hard as you can, go, 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 go. And, tapping into that 90% rating and perceived exertion where you just physically can't go any longer than that 30 seconds. That's going to be HIIT training. Versus if you're just running on a treadmill and you're taking your time and you're running along, boom, 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 and you can go beyond that 30 seconds, that's not HIIT training. That's just regular old cardiovascular training, which I find is where a lot of HIIT training goes off of the marker, because they don't, coaches or persons that are doing their HIIT training do not select exercises that are tough enough for them to have to quit doing that form of exercise. So if it's too light and you can do 30 seconds or more of it with ease, and it's not challenging at all and not taxing you out, it's probably not a good form of HIIT training. So now, the reasons why we want to do HIIT training is, number one, it's going to really jack up your metabolism. That epoch, that exercise post-oxygen consumption window, is going to be expanded for 24 hours later after a good intense HIIT training session. This is going to burn more calories at rest. Now granted, it's probably only going to be like 3 to 7 extra calories per hour, but add all those up out of a 24-hour period, and you got a lot of extra calories burned. So it's very beneficial if you're trying to lose weight. you're gonna burn more calories per unit of time. So like overall, if you were to do steady state cardio for an hour, say you burn 250 calories. Well, in a very high intensity HIIT fashion training, you can burn that amount of calories in about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on your body size and how fast you can pump through. It also depends on your work capacity. How much work can you do in that amount of time? So it's a very time efficient way to get in a good quality level of exercise that's going to carry you 24 hours later, still increasing that metabolic rate and increasing that level of burn. So you can essentially lose fat with a lot less time spent, but the suck factor is going to be more because you're going to have to push a lot harder. So now, it's going to increase your overall level of fitness by just enhancing your overall work capacity. You're going to be able to do more stuff. So regular everyday activity is going to feel like nothing. Like carrying up all those bags of groceries all at the same time up to the top floor of your stairs, not a problem. You're just going to have a better overall level of physical presence, and you're going to be able to do a lot more stuff. And last thing, just all around work capacity, being able to drive hard through everyday stuff and physical and sports performances is going to be improved. So HIIT training is super beneficial. It's going to increase the amount of calories burned, increase the amount of fat burned, improve upon a little bit of muscularity depending on how you're doing it. So very efficient form of training. However, it's very demanding on the body. So you probably don't want to do too many sessions of these per week. This is how a lot of people get in trouble when they're, kind of intermediate, advanced level of fitness. They have a ton of work capacity and they just drive all day long on these HIIT training sessions. They don't give their body a break. Remember, your body still needs a little bit of recovery time to recover from very intense bouts of exercise. So, best case scenario, throw that into your cardiovascular efforts, 2 to 3 times a week if you have a lot of body fat to lose, or maybe just once or twice a week if you just want to improve upon your overall level of work capacity. Remember, the mainstays always stay true. Long distance cardio, weight training, always going to be good things for the body. And HIIT training is just another tool in your toolkit to kind of enhance that overall level of fitness that you can get into. So, if you're a beginner, don't recommend it. If you're intermediate or advanced and you want to cut out some body fat, HIIT training is a great way to go. So that's it on this blog post, and I hope you like it. Give it a like if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Captain Smash out.